Are you enough, or can you be better? Can you drive yourself into self-improvement? Can you push forward through the difficult times? I believe you can. But do you believe that you can? Are you willing to do the work and to push and to flex and to lift and to eat and to do all the things that you have to do to get to the spot where you're accomplishing the stuff that you want? You may be saying yes, but you also may be saying, I'm getting tired. I'm starting to burn out. I'm starting to have difficulties continuing to push through the density that my life is. And that's okay. It's all right to push to that point, but what's not all right is to consider yourself a victim of those circumstances. Perhaps pushing forward isn't necessarily what you need to continue to do. Pivoting, looking at other options, looking at other things that you can continue to do that still get you to where you need to be. Because becoming hyper-focused can become the detriment to the success that you want to create. You've learned all these skills, you've developed into this person. Now utilize those skills to see other opportunities. What is another strategy? What is another direction so you don't get burned out? Today is your opportunity to learn experiences, to do something different, to continue to create a life that you can be proud of, so when you die, you know that you were the man that you always dreamed to be. Roll that intro. I want to thank you for joining us at the Man Up and Own It show, where we tell the stories of other men and the difficulties that they went through and that they overcome, because overcoming uncomfortable situations are what define us as men. And if we can learn from the other stories of other men, it will get you on the fast track to a life that you can be proud of. And today, I am shared this experience and to give you the opportunity to meet my friend Serban, right?
Serban.
Fuck. Can I do it again? Motherfucker.
Please.
Serban.
Serban.
Huh?
Serban.
How did you not say my name before? I felt like you've said it.
I probably have, but I'm like hyper-focused on fucking saying it right. Serban.
No.
Serban.
Yep.
Serban. Bon.
All
right, here we go. There's the blooper reel for you. I want to thank you for joining us on the Man Up and Own It show. Take this moment right now to hit the subscribe button and that like button, because you don't want to miss the other episodes that help give you the stories of other men that have gone through difficult times and fuck me, man. What am I doing?
It's episode 4 today.
It is, huh?
Yeah.
I don't have my coffee. Yeah, dude, this happens every episode 4, doesn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I also have a critical eye, and I'm judging you right now.
Look at
You're nervous, Chris.
Just kidding.
I'm in here with a fucking Toastmaster.
Exactly.
I'm watching the crutch words.
Serban.
Bon.
Do this.
Bon.
All right. I want to thank you for joining us on the Man Up and Own It show, where we tell the stories of other men that have overcome difficult times, that have overcome the uncomfortable situations that they have found themselves in. And I want you to take this moment right now to hit the subscribe button and the like button, because you're not going to want to miss any of the episodes that give you the edge on overcoming life's difficulties. And today, I have the honor to share you with my friend, Serban. Nice to meet you, bro.
Chris, it's been a long time coming.
It has.
Thanks for having me.
And I've seen you develop your skills and your ability to convey information to others through an amazing group called Toastmasters. I've also seen you win some awards, which has been an honor to be there. So tell the world out there about the keynote speaker, the man that teaches others how to overcome burnout.
Oh, where to start? Let me tell you, I was born in, I'm just kidding.
Where were you born?
I was actually am not born in US. I was born in Romania. English is my second language, so having the ability to communicate has been something that I've worked on for the last 6 years. And it's an interesting story because before trying to develop the skill, I was absolutely petrified of speaking. And like you were mentioning in your intro, doing the things that make us uncomfortable is what helps us grow. Mm-hmm. And speaking was one of the things that has helped me propel in my career, in my passion for becoming a keynote speaker, and has helped me bridge that gap where I actually fell into burnout, and has helped me along with other tools to be on a side where I'm a little bit more happy and less stressed today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think was the thing in your life that was holding you back the most?
Obvious, myself. Our brains are just designed to keep us safe, to play small. Mm-hmm. And I've grew up like that, especially coming from a country like Romania. My parents told me to stay in my lane, to never rock the boat. Mm. And that's exactly what I was doing. And that's what was eating at my soul, because I achieved what I thought was the necessary things for a successful life, playing it small, staying in my lane. And that was not the right recipe.
So what was the breaking point that helped you transition out of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, I thought that pursuing money was the end all be all, and having stuff was what I needed. And the moment I got them, I realized after a while, because I was celebrating, yes, I made it, I have arrived. And a year later, I started to feel a sense of, this is not it. 2 years in, it's like, man, there's a gaping hole in here. What's happening? And it was just a slow burn where I just became just disillusioned, mentally checked out.
Yeah.
And it was because I've reached what I thought was the end, and it wasn't. It wasn't the end.
You thought you had reached the pinnacle because you had checked all these boxes that society suggested was a fruitful outcome. And in reality, it's like eating a candy bar and never getting fulfilled nourishment and success, right?
Yeah, you remind me of this idea of people think that they want happiness. I believe that people want peace of mind. Yeah. Because if you continuously eat that piece of candy, it's good. The first 10 pieces, maybe. Some may like 20. But the 30th piece is just disgusting. And that's no longer going to bring you that joy that you're thinking about. Right. It's peace of mind that you are doing something meaningful in your life that's going to bring you fulfillment.
Well, I think that's where confidence rolls in, because we know that we've been doing the things that we were supposed to be doing. So then when our integrity check comes and people put us on the spot, the person that knows that they've been doing the stuff they were supposed to be doing the whole time then can stand up and speak about it, and without emotion and fear and anxiety and all this other horrible feelings, right? And they prosper. And people can see it because they are the fruits of their labor.
Yeah, to me, when you say that, I just think about oftentimes we're misguided in the path that we're going, which it eats at our soul and it drains of our confidence.
Absolutely.
And when we find a true path, something that is meaningful for us, not what society tells us or our parents tell us, then you have that satisfaction and you get that confidence that you're going after something that you truly want.
Right. I mean, you got to go to one of the dinners, and I've been telling you about them for a while, trying to get you there. And I think maybe you kind of saw that for me in that dinner. Because there's moments that I'll just sit there and I'll just like look out and I see everybody interacting and I feel fulfilled, like truly happy in that moment because something I've dreamed of is coming to life.
Isn't it funny how I saw you blossom at that event and you're just there kind of moderating the whole thing. You're not the center of the show, but it's something that you enjoy doing and you see that you bring so much value to all the other people and that lights you up.
Absolutely. I love giving people, men especially, the opportunity to have the limelight put on them about things that are actually meaningful to them. Not what society says is meaningful, but what actually means something to them.
Yeah. And that's the point, right? Especially in our dinner and the people that were there, they feel like they're searching for camaraderie, they're searching for answers, but they also are very driven in finding the things that lights them up.
Absolutely.
And that's the cool part about the group.
And the next step of the group or the things is it's not self-promotion. Yes, you have to communicate what means something to you, but what is the effectiveness of your communication that someone else in the group can be able to correlate that to everybody else?
Yeah, well, it kind of makes me think of, I've never seen you speak at an event, right? So it was, we're common friends because of Toastmasters. Haven't been to Toastmasters, but you've been to events from Toastmasters. Yeah. And I didn't even know how well you communicated. And it was, I don't know if it was a proud moment seeing you up there. You're like, yes, let me tell you what life is all about. And it's cool. It's cool to be surrounded by men that like to do things that inspire others.
Yes. And it's the surroundment of those men that are doing the stuff that we want to be doing, that share the same morals and values that we have, that actually elevate us into a spot where we can now flourish also.
Yeah.
And we can also reach down and pull them up to new levels. And it's this symbiotic relationship that we have, because there's been multiple times that I've reached out to you and been like, dude, burnout point, because I know that you can relate to it and you can give me some insight. And when I tell you this stuff that I'm kind of like thinking about doing, I have a verified expert in the matter that can give me insight and be like, dude, that's a good idea. Or, hey, maybe you should look at it from this perspective.
So I know we touched briefly, you had a moment of weakness and you felt like you were on the edge of burnout. What did you do to walk away from getting burned out?
I pivoted. I looked at something else that I could do that wasn't the same thing, but it was it was contributing to an outcome that I wanted. So I could develop another side of me and continue to move in the direction that I wanted to be.
Yeah. So to your point, right, if people are stressed out or burned out or they're just dissatisfied with their lives, finding the right direction is what will help them get out of that rut. If they find something that is meaningful for them toward going towards a meaningful goal, then they get that light, that energy.
Right.
They revitalize themselves.
I think you did something that helped you do the same thing. You were successful in your job, great in your career, but still not fulfilled. And you recognized an opportunity. Then what did you do?
Well, after many years of being in the slump and just feeling hollow inside, I had my amazing wife nudge me towards personal development, which sounds a little cheesy, but me growing up in Romania, I wasn't exposed to ideas like, a growth mindset, of take ownership of your life instead of having other people drive it for you.
Yes.
Right? Because I felt like I was a NASCAR driver, just going in circles every day, feeling the same way. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't know what to do until I listened to some podcast and heard of the great Les Brown say that if you want to have your life go in a different direction, you have to take the wheel. Mm-hmm. Right? And that was a pivotal moment in my life where I'm like, okay, what do I want? Because I knew, and this is the challenge that many have, they know what they don't want. Mm-hmm. They're very clear on this is the things that I don't want, and they have a laundry list, but they never look at the other side of the coin. Okay, if you don't want this, what would you want? And that's a tough question to answer. But the more you focus on that part, the more you'll figure out what's going to light you up so that you can take that wheel and drive towards a life that you want, and you feel more fulfilled and energized, and you're not going to feel burned out.
I do think, though, that there is a healthy balance of knowing both, because I knew exactly what I wanted, and I pushed and pushed and pushed and started to create it, but I started to get burned out. Mm-hmm. So having the balance of both, mm-hmm. knowing what you want and also what you don't want, helps you create the recognition. And I would assume that you've probably experienced both. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But how could one balance themselves out better?
Good question. Because it's very tricky to find the right sweet spot. I think of it kind of like the vaccines, right? The vaccines. What do you do? You have to inject yourself with a small dosage of the virus. Mm-hmm. Just the right amount that it almost gets you sick, but not really, mm-hmm. to where that's what builds the immunity, and that's what gets you to be more resilient and stronger when the actual disease hits you. Mm-hmm. So that's the way I look at it, as stress. It's good for us in the right amount, mm-hmm. stepping on that edge of the comfort zone and pushing yourself far enough to where you stretch yourself, but you're not breaking yourself.
And then you come back a little bit. And you go out a little bit more.
Let go of the throttle.
That's where I like fitness. And recently, you just did something that I think is extreme. Tell us about this quest that you went on.
Which one of them?
Was it a triathlon that you competed in?
No. So I'm now a seasonal marathon runner.
Okay.
And I've done a marathon. The other cool part that I've done, which is probably a lot more challenging, was hiking Mount Kilimanjaro. Okay. And this is in Africa. You get up to almost 20,000 feet elevation. It's a 5-day track. You have a team that you're going with, but it's the higher you get, the harder you breathe. Mm-hmm. And I've trained for a long period of time, and because you're on that mountain and you don't know the conditions, I got a little sick. So it's, you're coughing and everything. It's a challenge. But the beautiful thing about these challenges, like a marathon, like anything that you're doing, putting together a men's group, having a podcast, right? It's a challenge. But the more you push yourself enough to not break, you get that satisfaction, especially if it's something that you're really wanting to do. And to be on top of Africa, mm-hmm. it was quite a memorable experience.
I bet. And that's what we live for, right? Is the experiences that we can create mm-hmm. for ourselves and for the people that we care about around us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tell me a moment that you were very proud of.
One that's very proud for me is I lost a bunch of weight because I dedicated myself to a career. Mm-hmm. I came back through it, reborn, mm-hmm. and went and competed in Las Vegas in a bodybuilding show and won in my class.
That is outstanding. Was it easy?
Of course not.
Did it take you a long time?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what life is all about. Doing hard things, pushing ourselves and stretching ourselves over an extended period of time. Nothing comes easy. You just need to know how much to push yourself again, to not break yourself. But that's the satisfaction, a continuous progress.
And that's why I like fitness, because I believe fitness and the ability to carve your body and push yourself is the best representation and relatableness to everything else that we do in life, whether it's work, relationships, whatever. The way we take care of ourselves and the way we can push ourselves can show others exactly what we're capable of and how we can help them in their life.
So you asked me how I transform my life. I've heard of the notion of the growth mindset, that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. I wasn't sure that is true. My negative Romanian mindset was still there. And that's the one thing that I did. It's a clear indication physically. Running a marathon for the first time in my life, I was in my 30s. And I've told all my life that I cannot do it. That's I'm not a runner. I can't do it. And then I've signed up for a marathon, and guess what? Training every week, doing an extra mile and sweating and not liking it and hating it and then loving it because I finished it, and then doing it more and more and ending at the finish line was the proof that you can do so much more than you think you can. And that's how it ended up overcoming my fear of speaking. That's how I ended up on top of Kilimanjaro, and that's why I am going to be on stages speaking and in companies training people about a growth mindset, about the ability to have a life without burning out, that they really truly enjoy, and that they achieve that peace of mind that I think it's the ultimate goal.
I agree with you. I think it is the ultimate goal. And how do we increase it? How do we make it so big that it's almost unfathomable?
The peace of mind?
Just the experience.
I think Simon Sinek has a book, right? They're playing the infinite game. We never arrive. I was speaking yesterday at a group of people, and I told them about a quote that I really love, which is that it takes a lifetime to learn how to live. We never arrive. We as human beings, we like to grow, we like to evolve, we like to change, we love progress. And that progress is the thing that's going to give us peace of mind. That's how you win.
And I would encourage the way that we can amplify it is by getting more people involved in it. So as we grow our group and we better ourselves and they better themselves and we come together to help each other, we can build something so unfathomable because we're all performing at such a high level. And when one of us starts to fall, the hands are there to help lift them up, just the same way that I reached out to you when I was starting to recognize that I was burning out.
Yeah. Support is very critical, especially when you're burned out. You feel like you're a failure. You feel like you've done a disservice, that it's you that you need to push through it. And it's not true. Over 65% of employees in 2024 reported severe levels of burnout. It's 1 out of 2, either me or you, one of us is burned out. It doesn't have to be like completely burned out where you're absolutely exhausted and you're lying in bed, but we feel that pressure. And having someone in your corner, having a support like your colleagues, like your wife, like men like us, asking like, hey, how you doing? How can I help? That's what's going to elevate us and it's going to help us get out of the burnout.
Absolutely. And I believe that only a confident man and one that's doing stuff with the right intentions will utilize the group because they know that they're doing the stuff that they should be doing to get the outcome that they want. If you're lying to yourself, you're probably not going to be reaching out to someone because you don't want to be exposed as a fraud. Yeah,
incongruency is a sore pill. it's very difficult to live this double life. You're basically saying one thing and doing the other. You may be fooling others. Unfortunately, you're not fooling yourself, and it's highly detrimental for your mental.
I think it's also the fuel to the fire of burnout.
Yeah.
As you're adding this napalm gas to it, it's blowing this fire that's driving you further into burning out because you're not actually doing the stuff that you say you're doing, and you're fighting two battles, one on external and one internal.
Yeah. Yeah, the 3 signs of burnout is physical and mental exhaustion. The other one is a lack of control. And the third one is cynicism. So whenever you feel like there's this incongruency, you want to lash out at someone else because you don't want to lash out at yourself.
Absolutely.
Internally, your brain already does it. So if you see someone honking on the highway at you and flipping the bird and all that stuff, know that it's something more with them, and just give them a pass.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. What is your viewpoint on projection of internal emotions on others?
Ask that again.
What is your viewpoint on the projection of self-internal emotion, or the way one feels about themselves, onto others?
Yeah, I always, it is fascinating because going through this transformation and seeing a lot of people who are angry or frustrated and lashing out, oftentimes it happens for the minimum things. And I'm wondering, why is that reaction? Why are they acting in that way? And the truth is that there's so many layers deep from their reaction. It's not whatever happened in that moment. They're so angry at other things, and that's their outburst. So whenever you see someone that's mad or acting in a weird way, know that it's not necessarily about you. It's about them going through something, and it might be something that they're really having a hard time. So just be gentle, even if they are mean.
Do you think that the people that are doing the opposite are feeling good about themselves, are projecting goodness onto others also?
Oh, yeah. It's like attitude is contagious. If you have a bad attitude and you go in a group of people with a bad attitude, you're gonna poison the whole bunch, right? And if you have a good attitude, right, it's the same effect. You always know the person who walks into a door and they're just lighting up. It's just the mood changes into a room. I think having a positive attitude is beneficial for others and also for you, because you see things differently.
Absolutely. It gives you a higher perspective, right? And maybe a different perspective. One of the things that I found really cool, I watched this YouTube video on how to be a spy. Right? And he talked about the easiest way to be a spy is to have the perspective from other people. To be able to see the world through other people's eyes is the easiest way to become your own spy.
That, to me, is a superpower. And it's still something that I'm struggling with, to be able to really empathize with other people. I think it is an incredible superpower if you are developing that skill to really hone in on what the other person is going through. Because I can tell you, for people who've never run a marathon, when I tell them that I ran a marathon, they're like, okay, whatever. But for someone who has been through the pain of pushing themselves for 26 miles for 4, 5, 6 hours, whatever it is, when they hear that you've done a marathon, they can relate so well, and you can tell. In the same capacity, I mean, if you have someone has the ability to really empathize with someone, that's a superpower.
So this is a free coaching session from me to you now.
Okay.
The way that I would encourage you, the lessons that I would take is, one, to continue to work on your craft and to build your confidence.
Always.
Because a confident man has the ability to empathize with others because he knows who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the step that I would take for you to be more empathetic would be to find relativity in what you have done and ask questions. There's the key part.
I like that.
To find the correlation between your experiences and their experiences. So while I'm training people, I'm asking them questions about who they are, what they've done, and things like that. So then I can take what I might know or the information I can gather from them to ask them more questions so we can build the gap.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it as an example of maybe I have not trained as much as you have, but you can, you know how much dedication and drive it takes. Right?
Yes.
So I'm developing my speaking skills and my ability to communicate properly on a stage and deliver a message with impact. And that takes a lot of work and dedication. There's the common ground.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And if you can create the common ground, then I can take you on a whole nother journey. And so maybe you weren't as healthy, but we have the common ground of the hard work it took to develop the skill to speak. And if I can get you to relate to that, to what it needs for you to do to develop your health, you're more likely to develop your health.
Yep.
So if there was one bit of information that you wanted to give to some man out there to help him with his life, what would it be?
Well, the first thing that I would say is that we wear hard work like a badge of honor, and we're willing to sacrifice our health, our family, and a lot more for stuff or recognition. And the first thing that anybody has to do is raise their hand, either in the mirror or wherever they want, and say, I'm struggling with something.
I'm struggling with something.
I'm struggling with something. And that first step is very important because we are men, so we're proud. We don't want to seem weak, right? And that is to overcome that and be vulnerable. It's very hard for many. And then just seek help. Just reach out to a friend that's willing to listen. Reach out to a support group. Come to a men's group. There's always a way. And again, we think that it's a me problem, but there's so many people who are struggling with this. And the more we can help each other, we will be able to survive and we will be able to thrive.
Fuck yeah. Dude, if someone out there wants to get in contact with you because they related to your message and maybe they want to overcome burnout or they want to be a keynote speaker, how would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can reach out. I am on Instagram, Serban Mare. That's SERBANMARE. They can find me on Instagram. I put out a bunch of videos trying to help promote the idea of living a healthy lifestyle, a burnout-free lifestyle. My website is also serbanmare.com. So just reach out. I'm willing to help. I want to do one-on-one coaching. If someone's struggling, I have no problem. Reach out to me. We can talk about it. If there's corporation that want to propel this message, I'm also open to doing trainings and keynotes. Yeah.
There we go. And you heard it best from the man. And if you want help and you're having a difficult time, go down to the description and find his information, or go to another episode and find another guy's information. Because it's up to you to do something different with your life. It's up to you to take the life that you have and make the most out of it. And the best way that you're going to be doing it is by surrounding yourself with people that are doing the things that you want to be doing and share the same morals and values that you have and that you want. And it's my honor to have my friends here on this show and to share a message with you of the stories that they've overcome and the difficulties and the uncomfortableness that they have faced. and how that they did something better in hopes that you'll do something better to create a better family, a better community, and a better outcome for you that you can have, that you can share and be proud of when you die. Thank you for joining us on the Man Up and Own It show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button. Have a good night.